This is a tutorial video on how to complete your word processing exam. Before getting to the actual word processing exam tutorial question, I need to address two areas: downloading Microsoft Office, and secondly, setting up your folder and documents for the actual exam. I need to advise those of you who are using the online version of Microsoft Word that you need to download the program to your computer. It's free at your @bcfe.ie email account. The reason for downloading is the online version doesn't contain all the tools you require for doing the exam questions. For instance, you can't change measurements from imperial to metric, inches to centimeters on the online version. The online version also doesn't contain tabs. I've uploaded a short video showing you how to download Microsoft Office. It is available at the following address. Moving on to the next item, which is setting up your folder and your documents for the actual exam. Setting up your folder and documents correctly is worth a significant amount of marks, meaning that if they are completed properly, you will have progressed considerably in terms of passing the question before the real work begins. So first of all, open a new document, then save it. So File, New, Blank Document. So I'm going to go File, Save As, this PC. It has to be saved with a specific file name, in this case WP 2019 Task 1, your name. While saving this, you can create a folder to share all your exam documents. This folder will be named like this. So you go up to New Folder and you're going to name the folder your class, and I'm going to use BSc, name and the year 2019. Obviously, when you're doing your exam, it'll be 2020. Then click into that and then save your actual document. In this case, WP 2019 Task 1 and your name, and save. Once saved, go up to the headers and footers, and you're going to choose the header with the 3 items on it, this one here, and you fill in your name, your class and the date. Then you go to the footer and you're going to use these, and in here you will type WP exam 2019, the QQI module number, which is QQI 5N1358, and this is task 1, and then close header and footer, and then File, Save. What I suggest you do at this stage is prepare the documents for all 4 questions. So now that you've completed the first one, we'll go on to the next one. So you go File, Save As, this PC, and you just need to change this to task to number 2. Question 2 is slightly different. You need to contain a folder for it within your master folder. So I'm just going to go New Folder, and again I'm going to call this WP 2019 Task 2 and your name. The reason for creating a separate folder for question 2 is that there are 4 documents in the question 2 folder, so you need to take note of that, and it saves a lot of stress and hassle if they're all in the same place. So I would advise just go Save, and again just go down to the bottom, scroll down and change task 1 to task 2 and save. I would advise you getting your folder and document set up the day before the upcoming exam, which saves both time and stress on the day. We'll close the header and footer and we'll move on to number 3. So Save As, and this time we'll just go up, back up 1, so we're in the main folder, and again just change the 2 to a 3 and go Save. Go back into your document, scroll down, change the task number to 3 close header and footer, save, and then file, save as again, and then to the final one, and again just change the number to 4, save, and scroll down and change the number to 4, close header and footer, and just save. Do Control and S. You can also go up to up here and save it there, or go File, Save. I would suggest using Control and S because it's quicker. Moving on to question 4, which includes tabs on the 2019 exam paper. I've attached the entire 2019 paper with the email I've sent you, but if you haven't received it, you can take a screenshot of it here using the PRTSC key. So I'm just going to go up to View, Full Screen Mode, press the PRTSC key, and then go back, and now I'll paste it. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of black on either side, so what you need to do is go up to the picture tools, go to crop, and then catch the handle there with the left mouse button, just put it in, and the same on the other side. The reason you don't want to print this page with all the black is that it will use up a lot of ink. So just click outside and make it larger by pulling on the corner. I'm just going to scroll down here. So that's your screenshot. Now, as I said, question 4 on the exam paper includes tabs. So I'll go through how to set up tabs in your document. Tabs are a type of paragraph formatting used to align text. Here is an example of a tabbed list. Before you begin to set tabs, you need to switch on the ruler. So you go up to View and just make sure that there's a tick beside the ruler. To move the cursor from tab stop to tab stop, use the tab key shown here, which is on the left hand side of the keypad. Default tabs are set at half-inch intervals, which is approximately every 1.2 centimeters. So if I press the tab key, you can see it's stopping every 1.2 centimeters. These are useful when only a few tab stops are required, or if you don't need to line up decimal points, but sometimes it is necessary to set up your own. The tab stops you set will appear as different symbols depending on the tab set. For instance, this is a left tab. There are a number of different tab types. The left tab symbol looks like an L and means text is aligned to the left side of the column. So you can see it on the above table. The magazine column is aligned, left aligned, so they're all aligned to the left side. The right tab shown here aligns text to the right, so you can see numbers ordered. The text is to the right. The center tab centers the text, as you can see here. The decimal tab keeps the decimal points aligned underneath one another. You can see here if I add longer numbers, the decimal points remain aligned with one another. So I will just tab cross here and I will put in a longer number. So you can see the decimal point stays in the same position. Finally, the bar tab places lines wherever they are required, for example, to show the separations between columns. There are two additional icons, the first line indent and the hanging indent, but I will have a look at them briefly at the end. They are unnecessary in order to complete the exam question. There are a number of ways to set tabs. You can use the tab selector box on the top left of the left scroll bar. So if you click on this box here, you can see that it changes symbols as you click through. Or you can go to paragraph, click on the little box there and scroll down to the bottom, tabs, and you get this dialog box. The tabs dialog box allows for more precise settings, and you can also insert leaders, which are dotted, dashed, or a full line. The example here is a dotted line up here. Usually you end up using a combination of the tab selector box and the dialog box. We will look at setting tabs using the tab selector box first. I recommend turning on the show hide invisibles icon on the home bar because it makes it easier to see your settings. So this represents where I've pressed enter. And if I press the tab key, it shows as arrows. And if I press the space bar, it shows as dots. It makes it easier to see your settings. The first tab is the left one. Whichever tab is visible in the tab selector box when you click on the ruler is the tab type which will be added. So in this case that's the left tab. So I'm just going to click on the ruler here and here. You have to scroll through the tab selector box in order to access the other tabs. So the next one is a center tab, and I'm going to put that here, followed by a bar tab. Put a few in here. I think I've missed a few, so I need to go back, and I want a right tab, and finally I want a decimal tab. So once I've set my tabs, I can begin to input the text. So the first one I'm going to tab into Fiona Brown, who's a dentist from Cork, who drives 272.5 kilometers to work. John Scott, who is a mechanic from Dublin and drives 10.2 kilometers. And then Fred, I'm just going to put this line in and then move on, who drives 221.7 kilometers. Okay. The tabs list isn't arranged quite as I would like it, so I want to move things a little bit. So you need to select the entire table. Then if you hold down the left mouse button on the tab, you can pull it along. Now sometimes they can slip off the line. Just do Ctrl and Z and that will sort it for you. So I'm just pulling them along a little bit. Just do Ctrl and Z, pull that along. Sorry, it's not being cooperative. So you can see the alignment is a lot better than it was. So you can see this column is left aligned. This is the bar tab. This is right aligned, so it's right against the right hand side of the column. Another bar. This is to the right. This is also to the right, and this is a decimal tab. Okay, I've just realized I don't have a center tab, so I'm just going to go back here. So the center tab has gone a little wonky, so I'm just going to move them back so that it's sorted. So there's a center tab, this is a right tab, and this is a decimal tab. So if I type in lots of numbers, you can see the decimal point remains in the same spot. Now I'm just going to delete this list here, and I'm going to go into the tabs dialog box. So, tabs, and then I'm going to set the tabs. So the first one I'm going to set it is at 1.1. I'm going to make it a left tab, and I have to go set. So you need to make sure that the number that's in that field goes into the bigger field below it. The next one I'm going to set is 3.5, make it a center tab, set. Then the next one I'm going to make it at 5.4, and I'm going to make it a right tab. And this time I'm going to put in a leader, so I'm just going to choose number 2. They're basically a series of dots, so this dot, lots of dots here. This one has kind of dashes, and this one has a line. So I'll go back to that and make sure I press set. The next one I'm going to put it at 7.2, and I'm going to make it a decimal tab, and I'm also going to put in a leader with that and set. Now I'm going to put in couple of bars. I'm going to put bar at 2.5, bar, set, and I'm going to put a bar at 4.3 and set. Okay, so now I'm going to complete this tab list. So we have Dominic from Tuam, who's a Virgo, and he is 27.4 years old. Then we have June from Clonmel, she's a Leo, and she's 22.10 years old. And next we have Angela, who's from Dublin. She's a Pisces, and she's 26.5 years old. These are a bit too close together, so I'm going to select them all, and I'm just going to pull the particular tab across so that I can separate them. So this is the advantage of the manual tabs, is that it gives you a better opportunity to fix things. So now you can see Dominic, that's left aligned. We have the bar that's centered. We have another bar. We also have leader dots. This one is right aligned, more dots, and then we have the decimals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these dots here. So I'm just going to select the whole thing. You have to remember they're leaders. That's an important term to remember. Okay, I want to remove the leader there, so I'm just going to double click on this, and I'm just going to click here. That's a bar. These are dots, and these are dots. So the ones I want are these ones. You need to remember that the dots are leading in, so that means that the dots are attached to whatever tab is at Virgo. So I'm just going to go none, and you need to remember to do set, otherwise it won't take it. Just go OK. So there, the dots have been removed. Now finally I'm going to just give a brief look at the hanging indent and the first line indent. So I'm just going to paste in a paragraph that I need there. That's the first line indent symbol. This is the hanging indent symbol. So I'm just going to click into this paragraph here. The first line indent is already up, so I'm just going to click on the ruler, and you can see it moves in the first line. Now I'm going to go down to the other one and move on to the hanging indent. So again, if I click on the ruler, you can see the first line is out here, but the rest of the text is in there. So that's tabs. Moving on to question 4. The first thing I'm going to do is go to File, Open, and I'm going to load the document I prepared earlier. So there it is, task 4. Just go Open. Now I would recommend pressing the Enter key a number of times because it makes life less complicated. Sometimes things go a bit astray when you put in the clip art. Also, before we begin, you need to go to File, Options, Advanced, and you need to make sure that your measurements are on centimeters rather than inches, and go OK. So the next thing you need to do is go to Paragraph, click on the small box, and you need to go down to Spacing After. The program seems to default to 8 after and multiple spaces. You don't want that. You want 0 and you want single. Then go to click Set as Default and choose the second one, all documents based on the normal template, and do OK. From now on it means that all your documents will be single spaced. So the first thing you have to do is fix the margins. So you go to Layout and Margins, and you want 1.7 all around, and click OK. So the next thing you're asked to do is put the words Rugby World Cup 2019 heading in a banner with font elephant size 28, text color red with green background. So what you do is you go up to Insert, you want Shapes, and go down here and find, there we are, and just hold down the left mouse button and draw the banner. I'm just going to pull these little yellow circles just to make it larger. You click in it, and then you type in what you need to type in this case Rugby World Cup 2019. In this case you're asked to make it elephant, so back to the home ribbon, click on elephant, and you're asked for font size 28, and the text color has to be red. So it's already red there, but it's not showing up here, so just click onto the arrow beside it, click on red, and then finally you're asked to make the banner green. So click into Format and Shape Fill, and just choose a green. Next, go down along. You're asked to type in the text Friday 20th September to Saturday 2nd October, and you're asked to make it area black size 12. So we want size 12 and we want area black, and center it and put a border around it. So I can go up here to this and outside border, and there's that. The next thing you're asked to do is put in a tab list. So what I would suggest to you is that you get everything done on the paper except for the tabs, and you leave them until last. So if you run into problems, at least you'll more or less have the question passed. So I'm going to skip that for the minute, and I'm going to go on to the next thing. Now, so I need to move on down. Okay, as you can see, it's not allowing me to go down here, which is where I want to go. This can sometimes happen. So what I suggest you do is you press the enter key, then you copy this, Control and C, go back up here, paste it in, and then just come back down here and delete this. Okay, and so that will get you around that problem. Sometimes you can forget to scroll down or to press enter a number of times, and this will happen. The next thing you have to do is put in the heading ticket prices for knockout stage and enhance with word art. So I just type in, first of all, ticket prices for knockout stage. So I'm asked to enhance that, and I can go about that in a number of different ways. I can go to insert word art and choose something from there. I can also go to home, and there it is there as well, and I can have different effects there. So it's up to you which one you use, and you can resize that to make it smaller, and I'm just going to make this smaller. So I go up to there. Now I'm just going to move that down a little bit. Now there's another tab list below that. I'm going to skip it for the moment, and then I'll come back to it. Now you're asked to insert some rugby clip art. So again, I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to just type in rugby clip art. And again, the same thing. Go to images, tools, size, medium. So I'm just going to choose this rugby ball here. So I'm going to right click, copy image, go back down here, and I'm just going to paste it in. Now again, when I've pasted it, nothing happened. I just got this empty box. So what you can do is you go to paste, choose paste special, in this case bitmap, and go OK. Now the image has appeared, but if the image doesn't appear, what you can do is, and I'm just going to center that, if the image doesn't appear, then go and find another image that will appear. I'm just going to go to picture tools, and I'm going to crop it a bit because I don't want all this at the edge. Okay, and then click outside it and just move it a little bit. This is actually at the bottom of the page when you're finished, but so I'm going to just press the enter key and move it down. The next thing you're asked to do is insert the watermark, do not copy. So for that, I go to design, go over to watermark. Now you can click do not copy there, or else you can go custom watermark, and we want the text watermark, and I'm going to put in the required one, which we require for this, do not copy. And then I'm going to leave the font, but I'm going to change the color. Okay, and go apply, and then close it. The next thing I'm going to do is place a border of 3 points around the sheet. So I go to page border again on the design ribbon, page border, and I click on the box and click down here, and I want it to be 3 points. You can change the color if you want it to be something different, and then just go OK. So there it is there. that's the main part of the paper done. So now I need to do the tabs. So in this case, complete columns using tabs, column headings, pool A, B, C and D in font Calibri, font size 14. All other text is size 10 Calibri. Apply a different text color to each column. Because there are not that many columns here, I could use the default tab, but I think in some ways it's always safer to put in the manual tabs. So I'm just going to go to home. Then I'm going to put, they're all left tabs, so I'm just going to just change this back to left. Click 1. I need 4. There's another one. 3, 4. I can start typing them in. So pool A, pool B. The good thing about tabs is once you've set them and you're happy enough, you use the same tabs for the rest of the tab list. So Ireland, and again tab New Zealand. So that's that tab table typed in. Now I'm asked to make the top row, it's Calibri, but it's size 14 for the headings. And then all the other heading text there is size 10. If I wanted to align these a bit better, again I can just pull them slightly. But I'm actually happy enough with where they are. Final thing you're asked to do is make each column a different color. So I'm just going to line this up slightly better. To make it a different color, I'm going to click here. So this is the first column. Hold down the Alt key and pull the cursor down across them. Then I'll go up here and I can choose color. Sometimes it may miss some of it, so you just need to go back again, hold down the Alt and pull it down through it and change it to that. And again, so I'm just going to put the cursor just before the P, hold down the Alt key and just pull it down through it. And this time I'm going to take an orange, and again it's left out a little bit of it, so I can just go up here, hold down the Alt key again and just pull it down through it. And then the next one just before the P, and again click, and I'm going to put purple, and then finally pool D, hold down the Alt key, and this time I'm going to choose red. So that's the first tab list done. We need to go on to the second one, and I just need to put this left aligned. The second one is slightly more complicated, but it's not a major problem, so we'll just pull this down a bit out of the way. Use the cursor. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 column. If you just take a look at it, I'm going to start it on this edge here. So I'm going to use the tab dialog box to do this. So I click up here, go into tabs, and there they are there. So if you look at the ruler to offer you guidance, I'm going to put it at 2, and it's left aligned and set. The next one I'm going to put at 3.5. 3.5 and go, and again that's left aligned. And the next one I am going to put, it's in slightly further, so I'm going to put it at 5, and again that's left aligned. And the next one I'm going to put at 6.5, and that again is left aligned. And then I'm going to put the next one at 8.5. And then the reason why the box disappeared is that I pressed OK. So I meant to press set. So I'm just going to do the final 3. They're quite close together, so I'm going to put those at 11 and set. You could put it, make it a decimal tab, but you don't necessarily need to make it a right tab. Okay, so set, And the next one I'm going to put at 12.1. And again leave it at right and go set. And then the final one I'm going to put it at 13.1 and go set. Before I click out of OK, there's also some dots. You might be better to go back in when you finish this and then put in your dots then. But if you put them in the wrong place, I'm going to put them in here. Actually no, I'll put them in here and click on that and go set. I'm not sure if I have them in the right place first, but I can come back in and change them if I haven't. I'm just going to type my list. I would just type a little bit of it first. Once you get the list sorted, once you have the correct alignment, then it's actually simple enough. You just need to type up. And then 0, 8, 15. And the next one. So my leaders, the dots, are in the wrong place. So I will go back in and fix that in a few minutes. So 320. And then the next one is 240 and 160 and finally 80. And again, you need to just press the enter key immediately after the last character. Okay, so the next line. It's looking pretty well. So what I can do is I'll just type in this line, and then I'll just make a few changes and I will type up the remainder of the table off screen. Okay, so 320. Sorry, so okay, 1115, and then the next one is 320 again. So Alt-G-R, or if you hold down Control Alt and press 4, that will get you the euro sign. Okay, so 320 and tab to the next one, and again Alt-G-R and 4. The Alt-G-R is to the right hand side of the spacebar, and that's 240. And just go back and 160. And finally 80. I'm just going to make a few changes in relation to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this closer to that, and the same here. So again, just pull this back, and the same here. And then these I'm just going to pull the other direction. Okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I've put in the dots in the wrong place. So they need to be going into between 815 and 320. They're leader dots, which means they lead into 320. So this is 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 5. So it needs to lead into the 5th tab. So I can double click on one of these and that'll take me back into the dialog box. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to make that none. Make sure you press set, and then I'm going to go down to the 5th tab, and yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn that on and go set, and just see if I have it in the right place. Oh yes, I have it in the right place. Again, I can, if I want, just move these, space these out a little better than they are at the moment, but you can decide that for yourself. So I'm going to continue filling in the table, and I will be back to you. So that's the second tabs list completed. I've just noticed I should have put in a Rugby World Cup logo. So I'm just going to go to my browser. Again, images. Tools, size, medium. And I'm just going to choose this one. Right click, copy image. Now as you can see it hasn't come up, so I just go to paste and paste special and go bitmap and OK. I'm just going to resize it. So as I said before, if it doesn't come up when you paste special, then you need to get another image. So I'm just going to center that. I can center it here, or I can go up to picture tools and choose position and choose one there, but in this case it's better to actually say exactly where I want it. And then I need to bring back up my piece of clip art from the other page, and I'm just going to move things a little bit around in order to get everything to fit, because everything must be on the same page. You can see the way the cursor change shape. If I hold it when it's that shape, I can pull that a little bit, and same thing with this. Hold down the left mouse button and just pull it, and that's from the original logo I tried to post. And once again, the other thing I could do just to make everything fit is to resize. Say for instance resize this so that it's smaller, so catch it from any edge. So it's on one single page, and that's question 4 finished. So I'm just going to finally save it. So go File, Save As, it's PC, and I'm just going to overwrite this. So I'm just click on it and go Save.